You know, 2002 was interesting because it was my first Olympic Games. There was expectations, but there also weren't any expectations. 2006, there was a lot of expectations from myself, from the media, from family, friends, from my teammates. And going into 2010, you know, I've won every race. I've won every single championship. I've done all the things that I've wanted to do in the sport. You know, it's almost like you know, you're just batting for fun now. You know, and sometimes when you're able to get back and get in that flow, that's when you can, you know, hit the hardest and the furthest home runs. So that's what I'm hoping for. It's special, you know. These games have many meanings for me, not just in terms of the Olympic medals and trying to break the records and make history, or, you know, trying to fulfill my own self, you know, my self desires, but just it's almost like coming home. You know, it's 2.5 hours away from my house. You know, it doesn't get better than that. So.
We've been anticipating this all weekend long. It's the 1,000 final on the men's side. Apolo Ohno in there. You get a look at one of the Korean skaters, Jung-Su, #1 in the world right now. His teammate Jung-Su Bak skated to a world record in the semifinals of the 500 yesterday.
And with Francois Hamelin from Canada, this very well could be the final we see at the Vancouver Olympics. This will be Apolo's 3rd Olympics. He's quite the veteran in the sport. The Koreans, on the other hand, his rivals historically, seem to crank out new skaters every games. And in this race, just like in the Olympics, you have to watch out for the skaters from Korea skating together, just like we saw the Chinese women doing.
And there's a nice ovation for the American, Apolo Ohno, inside the top 10 in the world. He's won a silver so far this weekend. Goes for gold right here. He starts in lane 4. What must he do here at the start?
He needs to separate Lee and Sung, the 2 Korean skaters in blue. If they get to the front, 1 and 2, they'll be very difficult to pass.
Clean start here in the men's final at 1,000 meters, 9 laps.
So Apolo doesn't need to worry about getting to the front at the very start. But again, it's only a 9-lap race. 8 laps to go now. You can't wait more than another lap or 2 to start getting to the front and avoid a Korean 1-2.
Korea in 1 and 4 right now. And now Ohno on the outside of the lead. So it's Ohno in the lead. Hamelin of Canada right there in 3rd.
I like this strategy for him. Being in the front, you don't get a draft. It takes a little more energy, but at this speed, it's not going too fast yet. He can do it. If I were Apolo, I would get right back up to the front.
Less than 6 to go. The 2 Koreans, Jung-Su and Jung-Su Bak. Here's Ohno back to the lead.
I like Apolo's strategy. He's making the other skaters pass him. With 5 laps to go, each lap he'll get a little bit faster.
Apolo Ohno carries the pace with the Canadian. Francois Hamelin in 2nd as the pace quickens.
And something seemed to happen to one of the Korean skaters, maybe lost an edge, which can easily happen. So with just 3 skaters to go, Apolo's in great position. Each lap he'll still crank it up a little bit more.
Jung-Su Bak is no longer a factor. His teammate Jung-Su, though, makes a move on the inside. He's into the front, but Ohno won't let him have it.
And that was a great move for Apolo. He actually let him in, but by doing that, set up a pass, passing him right back. Apolo's in great shape here.
Final lap, Ohno going for gold in the 1,000. Apolo Ohno off the final turn, skates for the victory. Apolo Ohno wins the 1,000, and Jung-Su has to settle for 2nd place.
That was a great race for Apolo. There was one point there with about a lap and a half to go when Jung-Su passed him. Apolo could have called him on that. It was a tight pass. If Apolo had given him some shoulder here, so Jung-Su, number 377, is passing on the inside. He didn't have a whole lot of room. Apolo could have gone in on him, but instead he went wide into the turn so that he could get him right back. Great tactical skating for Apolo.
Little jousting between the top 2 skaters there. We talked about how it can get physical from time to time.
Definitely can, and again at the finish line in short track speed skating, it's all about the blade. Apolo kicked his skate across the finish line first.
So Apolo Ohno can celebrate gold, and he will take home a couple of medals here individually from the weekend. at the ISU World Cup. Tremendous race by the American in front of the fans here in Marquette, Michigan.
And to top it off, this is the last individual race against this full international competition before the Olympics. Apolo winning it has got to give him so much confidence going into the Vancouver Games.
Apolo wins, and Jung-Su and Francois Hamelin finishes in third from Canada. On the men's side, there's your gold medalist, Apolo Anton Ohno, one of 2 individual medals. He takes home for the weekend. Jung-Su, the silver. Francois Hamelin, the bronze.
There they are.
Apolo with a silver in the 1500 yesterday and a gold here in the 1000 today.